Hey Troy, welcome to the podcast.
What's up, Asher? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
You're very welcome. For every guest, I like to ask the question, who do you say you are?
Oh man, who do I say I am? I'm Troy. I'm me. That's always a hard question for me because that's that when I say I'm me, that encompasses a lot of things.
Mhm.
That encompasses a husband, a father, a son. That community impactor, person of faith, child of God, So it encompasses so much when we ask who are you? But me, I'm just Troy. I'm just like to call myself like just this chill, laid back guy, a jokester. I like to laugh at everything. Everything is hilarious to me. I can find a joke out of anything. So just really laid back and chill for the most part. I don't really like to like accomplishments or achievements and things like that because I don't think that defines in totality who I am. I like to just tell you I'm me, and then you figure out me as we go along and develop relationship.
Gotcha. And, and I guess has any of that how you see yourself changed recently, or have you felt the same? Or I guess yeah, like when you look at who you are, where you come from, the things that you appreciate about what makes you you, has that always been the case, or have you had to like change how you view yourself recently?
I think yes. I think it's ongoing.
Mm,
As you continue to grow and develop and have your life experiences, who you are changes. Whether you realize it and you want to acknowledge and adapt to that change, or
mm,
whether you want to fight it and try to stay the same to prevent that change from taking place. But I think as you go through life and your life experiences who you are um, changes, and if you allow it to, it those experiences help you to evolve into being a better version of yourself. Those experiences help you to evolve to understand where it is that you need to reflect and grow and develop yourself. It shows your weaknesses, your strengths, or areas of improvement. So to answer the question, yeah, I don't think this is me and this is just completely how I am.
right.
I shared before we started recording, I did some international travel recently, and that forced me to reevaluate myself and what I believe, and figure out, okay, how do I change into this new, or how do I change and evolve into what I've been exposed to by traveling internationally and
Mm,
experiencing different cultures and belief systems versus just being in America and seeing, what I've always believed.
mm,
So the tension in between the two, it's like, hey, I can put my head down and try to figure out where I stand in this tension,
yeah,
or I can ignore it and say, nah, I'm gonna just go back and be the same.
got you.
I think when we do the hard work of putting your head down and fighting through that tension, you evolve and grow into understanding of not only yourself but humanity on another level.
Mm,
You grow and evolve to understanding other cultures, other people, and just society in general. So don't fight this. Don't fight the. Don't fight it.
got you. I guess from that, what's one thing that kind of challenged your perspective going outside the country where you were like, well, I didn't expect that, or okay, that's different.
um. Oh, one thing, just one.
Yeah.
Okay. the food.
Mm,
It's one thing. And that stuck out to me the most because as I traveled internationally, I went to Singapore, I visited Belgium, and I visited the Philippines.
mm,
And every country that I went to, or those three that I went to, um, man, like it made you realize that the foods and things that we have here in the U.S. like a lot of that stuff is not even on their shelves. You
mm,
know, it's they say like, hey, certain things are banned
mm,
because it has toxic poison chemicals and all this stuff in it. I remember walking into their grocery mart, or sometimes it was grocery stands on the side of the streets,
mm,
and you know, you saw fruit actually going bad,
mm.
you know, and it's like, oh man, that's refreshing because you go to Walmart or you know Food Line or somewhere here in the States,
Yeah.
and everything is polished and like this is perfect, you
Mm,
know. Also realizing, you know, the quality of their food. Like I can remember in Singapore, as I would, you know, partake in dinner or you know whatever meal that I would have this feeling that I'm full,
mm,
but I'm like I can still eat more.
mm,
But also understanding how you know as I was eating, I was in Singapore for 3 weeks, and as I ate their food, you know my skin started changing. Like I deal with eczema,
mm,
and just off of the foods that I ate, like my eczema was clearing up.
mm.
It was insane, you
Yeah.
know. And I come back to the States, and you know, you got McDonald's and all this trash and junk food. So that was one thing that stuck out to me the most. Like even in their grocery stores, that everything was, you know, Belgium. Their breads and croissants and all this stuff baked fresh,
Mm,
you know. So you go in their grocery stores and it's like, oh man, this is fresh stuff,
mm,
and you taste the difference. So that was one thing. And to the point earlier of growing and evolving, you know, I came back and had to deal with the tension of, okay, how do I establish and grow myself to have a better quality of food here
mm.
that I experience there? So then I ventured off into kind of gardening and you know growing your own vegetables and foods and things like that. So that's
Okay.
been a journey.
Cool. And I think last time we've spoken a little bit in the past, but just to share with people a little bit on your background, tell me a little bit about where you grew up, where your base, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. So grew up in born and raised in Portsmouth, Virginia, known as 757 Hampton Roads, home of Missy Elliott, home of Tim Reed from Sister Sister, the dad who was in Sister Sister, home of Michael Jackson. No, I'm just playing. I always throw that in. People feel like Michael Jackson was from Portland. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, born and raised in Portsmouth, Virginia, and grew up in Portsmouth all my life, and ended up going to Virginia State University up in Petersburg, and then for grad school went to Virginia Union School of Theology, and came back home. Currently reside in Hampton, Virginia, so not too far from Portsmouth. So yeah, that's born and raised P Town is what we call it.
Got you. And I guess with being in that part of Virginia, do you guys have seafood or like what are you known for? Aside from
Oh,
the celebrities, like what's the food like?
food. Oh, another celebrity, LaShawn Merritt, track
Okay.
star. But food wise, there's a specialty in Portsmouth called Yok,
Mm,
YOK,
mm,
and it's basically made with either um, spaghetti noodles
mm.
or dang, I think it's vermicelli noodles or whatever it's called. I don't know, but it's basically like the thick noodles like that you get from you know if you order yak at the Chinese spot, but
Okay.
it's not made like Chinese yak.
Mhm.
You make it with you can make it with seafood or you can make it with chicken, but the broth essentially is mixed with soy sauce, vinegar, hot sauce, ketchup. You chop up some onions, boiled egg. That's a staple in Portsmouth. I like to say that Portsmouth created yacht,
Mhm.
and it originated there. But it's very popular meal in the 757 area.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
It's a lot of different things going on there. And when you say
yeah.
spaghetti noodles, are those usually the ones that you would make from squash, or that's a different
No,
that's like
no.
flour noodles altogether?
Well, you can do flour noodles or just your regular spaghetti noodles that's in the box that you boil.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I might have been thinking of something else there. But
yeah,
yeah, that sounds good. I guess it's almost like down in I know two different locations, but down in every time I think of Louisiana, I always think of their jambalaya, where it's like a good mix of everything in there, and it's
yeah,
it's this big roux where you get all your ingredients together, and it makes for a nice hearty meal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty good. You use thick noodles, thick noodles. It's
Gotcha.
pretty good, man. And it's easy to make, And recently they had a competition out here that was like who make the best yacht
Mhm.
in, you know, all 757. And I didn't get a chance. I was actually out the country when they were having it, so I didn't get a chance to experience it. But yeah,
Gotcha.
staple.
Nice. And I guess now coming back and starting to grow your own food and things like that, how has it has it been challenging to recreate the same experience, like just tasting something that's fresh coming from your own versus that something that may be store bought?
Well, are you asking has it been a challenge, actually doing it or clarify what you mean for me?
Yeah, actually doing like just doing what's better for you versus what's more convenient of like, okay, I could just run here and grab this versus, okay, I know what this does to my body. I know what this has done to my skin. And it, if I do this, it gets me close enough to where that experience that I had overseas.
Yeah, okay. Good question. I think the challenge is actually doing it consistently.
Mm,
So when I'm out in the garden, you know, the challenge there is time. It
mm,
takes time to put the seed in the ground or put the starter plant in the ground and nurture it and water it and make sure it gets sunlight and go out and prune it, and make sure you're fertilizing it and just doing the necessary things to be in expectation of a harvest. But
mm,
also at the same time, um, while it's a challenge,
mm.
the expectation of the reward, it's like, oh man, like, you see one strawberry on the bush and you pop it and you taste and you're like, ah, oh, yeah, I gotta keep going. And your strawberry this big, well, in the store, it's like strawberry the size of my hand.
Yeah,
So, it's the inconvenience in it is a temporary setback,
yeah.
because when you like an example, I was out gardening and my kids love to come out and help. And my daughter, she's out there helping, and she looks on the ground. She's like, "Daddy, this looks like blackberries on the ground." So I
Mm,
go and look, and I'm like, oh, "Man, these do look like blackberries." And I'm like, "They're everywhere. They're smushed. What's going on?"
mm,
I look up. Unexpectedly, there's a mulberry tree
mm.
with mulberries falling, like just ripe and ready to be plucked.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty in it because it's like now I can go in my backyard and pick mulberries, or
Mm,
now I can go to the garden and pick strawberries or cabbage or whatever it is that I've grown and take that in the kitchen and know without a doubt that's healthier than most of the stuff in the store that has pesticides and things like that.
right.
Now, in the day to day, when you don't have access to the garden, or maybe, the beans or majority of the food hasn't produced yet,
Mhm.
then you go an alternative route where now I'm in the store and I'm choosing healthier options.
Mhm.
I'm minimizing processed foods, and maybe once a week instead of every day out the week. I'm minimizing eating out every day, realizing, knowing that it's not as effective and efficient for my body,
Mhm.
and I'm leaning more toward home cooked meals or more fruits and vegetables or nuts or grains. So, um, and actually reading ingredients on the back of labels to see what's in the foods and things. So, those are just some of the minor things that the challenge is just being consistent in that.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's funny when you mentioned strawberries. Every time that I go to the store, I keep looking at them and I'm like, something seems off there. And like even from going and getting some yesterday, it's like they look juicy, but then when you taste it and it's dry, it's like,
Yeah.
I might need to do something a little different there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
So I guess we're almost coming up on like halfway in the year at this point. How's 2026 been for you?
It's been pretty good. It's a roller coaster as always. You have your ups, you have your downs, you have great moments, you have moments that I don't ever like to say that I have bad moments.
Mhm.
You have moments where you have an opportunity to learn and
Yeah.
and an opportunity to grow. You have wins, you have losses. So it's been a journey. Family aspect doing well, marriage aspect doing well, business up and down,
Mhm.
and just trying to remain consistent. And what's interesting is some of the same lessons in gardening and the experiences traveling internationally start to spill over into some of your personal goals and some of your life and lifestyle choices and decisions and just every day of life. It's like, all right, I put the seed in the ground.
Yeah.
Now I'm waiting for the expectation of the harvest.
Mhm.
In the garden,
Yeah.
now when I come in business, all right, I may not be seeing no results, but I still have the seeds in the ground. So there's still an expectation of a harvest.
Right.
So, when there's so much that's able to correlate to real life experience. And most times that is what helps me to, or helps give me a different perspective and
Mhm.
how I analyze and view things.
Mhm. But got you. And I guess has anything changed for you from 2025 to 2026? Like we talk about the things that you need that are consistent, where it takes time from being able to put seeds in the ground to get a harvest and being able to look forward to the day to day and kind of ride the waves as the whatever comes and try not to just let like a singular thing detract you completely. Is
Mhm.
there is there one thing that you're glad you were able to check off the list, say from you wanted to get done last year to now?
Something that I wanted to get done last year from now and checked off the list. Who? Yes, actually. So being that I'm a licensed life insurance agent, um, what I did want to focus on last year that I was able to get checked off the list was learning an aspect of
Mm,
marketing and implementation of automation and automated systems.
mm,
So last year, although business got slow,
Right.
And it seemed as if like, hey, it's not hitting as usual, or it's not as consistent, and taking a step back to evaluate, okay, what is it? What are areas of improvement, or areas of growth that I can implement that will help me to establish a foundation, but also establish a system so that you don't find yourself doing every tedious task.
Yeah.
So learning marketing and learning automation was one of the goals for last year that actually helped propel me into this year.
Nice.
So that was something major that I wanted to check off.
Gotcha. And when you say marketing, is that like letting people know of your services to then get new clientele?
So marketing in the aspect of how you put yourself out there,
Okay.
and realizing and understanding how to market. Because an example is I can post a post on, social media, but what's my audience? Who
Hmm.
am I talking to? Am I talking to teenagers that are talking about life insurance, or am I talking about families? Am I
Hmm.
targeting families? But while also understanding there's three different dynamics of people that you're marketing to. There are some people who are ready to buy now. There are
Hmm.
some people who need more information, and
Yeah.
there's some people that are not problem aware. They're not aware that they have a problem that needs to be solved.
Okay.
So something as simple as marketing to those three different tiers of an audience,
Yeah.
and then understanding, nurturing, and being able to walk them through, hey, you're not problem aware. Like, Ashley, you come to me and you're not aware that you have a problem.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, my marketing now, let's say I do a marketing campaign, and I now make you aware that there's a problem that you're dealing with. And you're like, oh snap, I knew about it, but I really didn't. So
Hmm.
next, I'm going to nurture you into the next phase, which is I'm going to educate you,
Hmm.
because you're going to be looking for more information on how to solve that problem.
Right.
Now, once I educate you, you'll go into the tier where you're ready to buy now.
Gotcha.
So out of 10 or out of 100 people, all 100 may not be ready to buy now. It may
Hmm.
only be a 2% of that 100. The other 60 may be in the middle tier of just needing more information. And the largest or the rest may be in that bottom tier of problem aware.
Gotcha.
So that was just something from a marketing standpoint that um, I was glad that I was able to just be aware of. So now it goes back to the tension part that we talked about
Hmm.
earlier, where it's like, okay, how do you now take this information, implement it, and change it where it becomes effective, and it becomes effective and complementary to your growth,
Gotcha.
you know? Or you can be like, I know all this information, I read it,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna fight and be in that tension to put the work in. I'm gonna just keep doing the same thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like the marketing gave you a way to like separate your audience at least into three categories and then being able to put out feelers. You can see, okay, this is what I put out, this is what I got back. And then it helps you kind of narrow your focus on, okay, here's how I can get more information to these people, and then what they respond to can either change the category that they're in or just how as much as that information is getting to them, it's like if more people are coming back and asking for more information, it's at least something's working in that back and forth loop.
Correct. And then with learning the automation, with having the system in place, I now can say, hey, I don't have to send out 50 emails to, or I don't have to send out one email to 100 people,
Mhm.
and realizing that they may not be, all 100 are not ready to buy now. Well,
Yeah.
I can separate my email list and say, I'm going to send this email to everybody who's in the education phase.
Mhm.
I'm going to send this specific email to everybody who's ready to buy now.
Right.
I'm going to send this one, and so forth and so on. So it has helped with creating. It's not less work. I think I like to say it's more efficient work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of just spamming everybody with one message, it's
Yes.
like, no, let me actually
Yeah.
send a message that um, goes to the person who needs it, who would
Yes.
more likely respond to it. It's like, okay, like when thinking about this, I heard about insurance.
Hmm.
Let me see what type of insurance do I need? Do I need like whole life insurance? Do I need
Hmm.
um what is it? Like the
Term
Aflac
life.
yeah, term life
Hmm.
insurance? Do I need disability, short term? And then actually being like knowing someone that's gone through something would make you more curious to be like, okay, let me see what this is about, or let me
Yeah.
Google it. Let me find this person's page, and oh, okay, I remember Troy. Let me reach out to him and see what he's talking about, and then from there, we can continue the dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like me staying fresh on your mind,
Yeah.
but it's the importance of nurturing.
Mhm.
Because I know you're now aware that you have a problem.
Right.
Now let me nurture you and walk you through education and facts and videos or different things so that now when you are ready to buy, even if you don't come from me
Mhm.
or buy from me, you're educated on what it is that you're doing.
Right.
But most likely because I've nurtured you, we've developed an aspect of relationship.
Mhm.
Well, now you're like, hey, I've been watching your videos. You seem to know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And well, let me just come to you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess was it challenging developing the systems or learning about how you could better implement your services?
Um, it wasn't challenging learning about it. The challenging part of it was actually because technology advances so much.
Mhm.
That was the challenging part. Okay, I have an automated system, but when I'm looking through the automation and how to use the platform and all this stuff, what do I do?
Mhm.
So my wife, she was a big help in helping out with that
Yeah.
because she does design, digital design and marketing, creating websites and flyers and different things of that sort. So the beauty was we had each other to kind of hold on to
Right.
and go throughout the journey and read the same books and bounce ideas off of each other. So she actually helped make it a lot easier with the technical aspect of it.
Mhm.
I kind of gave her the vision, like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Based off of what I read and based off what we read, what
Mhm.
do you get from that? This is what
Yeah.
I get. This is the vision that I have for it. And she's like, oh, I got it. Let me help you to execute it. So as she was setting up the technical aspects of it, I would, sit in and watch her and learn how she did it so
Mhm.
that, now on the back end of controlling everything, I have an idea of what I'm doing.
Got you. I like that. And
Mhm.
with with this new discovery, I guess would you say like this is the main driving thing? Like, is this tied to being able to go overseas and do work there too, or are those two separate things?
No, that's
Insurance,
separate.
like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah, that's separate.
cool. And I guess do you get any overlap, or is it just well, that's kind of um just trying to think. Well, I mean, obviously, like your company, you would do like they would have like their own marketing team that does their thing, and being there as a stand-in. Um, do you mind if I ask like what you're able to do with travel and things like that?
Oh yeah. So with travel, I'm a telecommunications technician.
Gotcha.
So I go to different places and install audio video systems.
Mm,
So that's where a lot of the international travel and things come from.
gotcha.
On the insurance side of things, that's my actual business.
Mm. And how'd you start insurance, or like what how did you get nurtured into insurance?
Oh, great question. So I'll never forget. I was a teacher. I taught elementary education,
Mhm.
maybe a year or two out of college. Taught first and second grade. And one time, one of my coworkers, I'm staying. As teachers, you work hard. You
Mhm.
salute your teachers. They're first ones there, last one to leave. It's a lot of work as an educator. And one day I'm wrapping up, getting ready to leave, prepping the class for the next day. And I overhear my door is just open, and I hear a coworker just screaming on the phone. And she's like, "Are you kidding me? You're telling me I'm about to lose $30,000?" Or, she said, "You're telling me I lost $30,000 and I'm supposed to retire in the next 3 years? At
Mhm.
this rate, I won't be able to retire." And I'm like, "Hold on, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And this is just me overhearing it. And when I heard it, I was like, okay, interesting. Overheard it and just like brushed it off or whatever. I go home that day, and my wife comes in. At the time, she was working as a physical therapist assistant,
Mhm.
and she comes in and she's like, "Hey, babe, one of my clients invited us to a wealth seminar."
Mhm.
And I was like, no, I ain't going. I know what these people want. They want your money. I was like, I ain't going.
Yeah.
She was like, she gave me that look. We were newly married. She gave me that look. And long story short, I ended up going.
Mhm.
And when I was in there, I'm like, they buttered us up so good. They had chicken, fried chicken, cake pops, all type of snacks. So they try to make it comfortable. So I'm in there just side eyeing everybody
Mhm.
because I'm like, no, I don't want nothing that y'all talking about. And the presenter, who still my one of my mentors to this day, she was presenting and she said, people are losing $30,000 to $50,000 and supposed to retire in the next 3 to 5 years. And I was like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, what? I just heard a lady say this. Like, I just overheard a conversation,
Yeah.
and from that point, she was like, first, what we do is show you how to get your house in order financially. And we show you ways where you can place your money where you never lose.
Mhm.
And you still attain growth on your money and you maximize on tax advantages. And then she also said, but once we do that, we also have an opportunity where you can become an agent and teach this education and help families as well.
Mhm.
And she was like, "What do what do you guys want to do?" And I instantly was like, "Both." And my wife was like, she was like, "Okay, so the presenter, she was like, so what I need you to do is let me know a time within the next 24 to 72 hours, and
Mhm.
I'll book an appointment on my calendar." My wife was like, we'll do it maybe in a week, 2 weeks or so. I was like, no, we're coming back tomorrow because I already didn't want to come here and you
Mhm.
drug me here, but I heard something that potentially will change my life.
Mhm.
And, we need to implement this now because so long story short, that's what got me into the industry.
Yeah.
And then also realizing the lack of professionals across our culture in the insurance industry, in the financial industry, who has the knowledge and the financial education to be able to help you out. So that those are the things that led me to becoming a part of the industry.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess how can someone get in touch with you to be able to learn more about it, to join? or at least learn what it is that you do?
Yes. So you can always call me directly or text me
Hmm.
757-719-9960. That's my phone number. And I'll say it again, 757-719-9960. You can call or text, anytime. I'll get right back to you. Also, you can go to www.financeacademyinc.org www.financeacademyinc.org. And what Finance Academy is a program that my wife and I birthed during COVID, where we started teaching children the importance of financial literacy,
Hmm.
insurance, and the things that we've learned as professionals in the industry.
Yeah.
So that program, we taught that, and it's a 6 week program where we meet once a week with children ages 7 to 18 and
Hmm.
teach them the things that we learn in the industry. And then we have a graduation ceremony for them afterward, and an investment. We invest $10 into each child and say, hey, you take this $10, and we believe that this will be the catalyst to help you make smart financial decisions in the future. So that is one way you can reach us. We also have an adult program on, and you'll see it all on the website, where adults can sit with us and do a free consultation where we'll go through a budget. We'll go through, any debt, if you have any debt or challenges financially or anything that you're trying to overcome to be in a better financial position, we'll sit down with you and say, hey, based on all of this information that we've collected from you, this is
Hmm.
our recommendation of what we think you need to do.
Gotcha. That's awesome. And what's one thing about insurance specifically that you would like people to understand, like maybe a misconception or just something that they don't see the value in it? Because when you speak of it, I see it similar to the strawberries, where it's a seed that you're planning for later. It's not meant to be like a, hey, this is how you're going to make your millions, but being able to put something into the ground that later on gives you a benefit.
I think what you just said is one of the biggest misconceptions. It's like, hey, this is not meant to make your millions, but it can be.
How so?
So, I think the lack of education around insurance,
Hmm.
because when people hear insurance or life insurance, automatically they think death.
Hmm.
And they think like, hey, what is it? Like, I don't want to talk about that,
Yeah.
or I don't want to. And the reality is, we all have a date that we're going to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, I always ask people, can you imagine if, when your grandmother or your parent passed away, had they left you $1 million, what would life look like for you today? So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect or misconception is, well, what if you get too sick?
Hmm.
What if you have a heart attack, cancer, or stroke, and you can't do 2 out of 6 of your daily living activities? Things like feeding yourself, bathing yourself, dressing yourself. Do
Hmm.
you have anything aside from your savings and your investments that you can lean into? Because when crisis happens, most people go into their 401ks.
Hmm.
Most people go into their savings. Well, life insurance, there's insurance policies where you get too sick, critical illness, your life insurance policy will cover you.
Right.
So I think the biggest thing is the lack of education around what you can and can't do with life insurance. I think also the language around the financial industry has always been so PhD level,
Hmm.
where it's like it almost scares people away from talking about it and realizing that it's not as complicated as it's made to be. It's just a matter of having someone who understands, having a professional you sit down with that gives you a recommendation that has that's integral. and operate with integrity. I think those are a few of the things, few of the misconceptions around why people don't get life insurance. There's others,
Right.
but I think those are the main few.
Well, thank you for explaining that, and thank you for your time today, Troy. It's
Yeah.
a pleasure being able to catch up with you and just being able to share with people what it is that you do, what it is that you've learned in life, and what you get up to. Because I guess everyone's got different walks, but it's always good to just see life through someone else's lens, and just having the opportunity to share that on my end is always fun.
Yeah, man. Hey, I thank you for the opportunity and just having me here today. It's always a pleasure. Anytime you need me, reach out, let me know. I'm more than willing. I'll clear up my schedule. And you just keep doing the great work that you're doing and sharing the lives of others through giving us the opportunity to explore the lives of others through different lenses. So I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You're very welcome.